Good evening. If you're just joining us now, I'm your news anchor, Allie Russell.
And I'm Kyle Shihara, here in the studio, while our dedicated reporters, Kerri Ritter and Shannon will be reporting to you live on the scenes. This is our year 1956 year in review. 1956 has been an eventful year, to say the least. Our feature story is coming to you live December 20th, 1956, in a historic day in American history.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. After a 13-month-long boycott of the Alabama buses, the Supreme Court declared Alabama's bus segregation laws unconstitutional. The Montgomery bus boycott has finally ended.
Yes, that's right. What started with heroic civilian and civil rights activists, Rosa Parks, refusing to give up her seat for a white man has ended in the civil rights history. After Miss Parks' arrest, African Americans bonded together to boycott city buses. More than a year later, city buses on the verge of bankruptcy, the case of Browder v. Gale ended the segregation of Alabama buses.
It's exciting to say the least. This is the first large-scale demonstration against segregation in these United States. The civil rights movement is certainly gaining momentum as a promising new leader rises from among the masses. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has been an active spokesman for African Americans and their cause. We expect to be seeing a lot more of Dr. King in the future. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Allie. Here's Kerri with the latest on economics.
Thanks, Kyle. Yes, folks, this year America has continued to define itself as a prominent world power as we solidify ourselves as a consumer-driven culture. I'm here with newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, to get their perspective on the economy this year. Can you tell me about your last year, ma'am?
Wow, is this going to be on television?
Yes, ma'am. Could you tell me where you are right now?
Gee, I'm in front of my new house. My sweetie and I just got hitched, and we moved into the suburbs. The economy's been so good lately, and we could afford this house and even a washing machine.
Ma'am, could you tell me a bit more about your husband and your occupations?
Oh golly, I don't work since I got married, but I'm expecting a child, and my husband Hank works, which will be enough for the three of us.
After returning from the war, I went back to school and got my degree. Right out of the university, I got a job making automobiles at Ford Motors, and boy have we been busy.
It's because all the foreign competition is decreasing, isn't it? Those European companies have been rebuilding. It's awful sad for them, but it's great for us.
Much, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You heard it here, folks. America's economy has been on an upward trend this year, and we hope to see it continue next year.
Boy, that couple sure seemed like a hoot, didn't they, Allie?
They sure did.
Alright, thanks, Kerri. Next we'll be discussing world events. This year's Olympic Games were unique as they were successful. Although certain countries such as Egypt, Iraq, and Lebanon decided not to participate due to protests over the Suez Canal, the Games overall strengthened worldwide unity.
At the closing ceremony, instead of marching in alphabetically, the athletes entered together, a grand demonstration of national unity. Of course, the U.S. was successful overall, winning 74 medals, 32 of them gold. We even came in second place overall, right under the USSR.
The Games are largely known as the Friendly Games, as nations stride toward peace. This year marked a turning point in American music. Although you may have not heard of him in January, you sure know him now.
Largely regarded as the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley made his debut appearance in America with his 11 television broadcasts, 143 concert performances in 79 different cities. Shannon is here with a critic of the king himself to tell us more. Shannon?
Thanks, Allie. Despite having 17 different songs on Billboard's Top 100 charts and starring in his own film Love Me Tender, there are many critics to the king. I'm here with Mrs. Elderman. Ma'am, could you tell me why you have such strong opposition towards the king?
I was just watching my television program the other day, and when I saw this vulgar sexaholic appear on the screen, and he was gyrating his hips on the television. This no-good sexaholic is poisoning the minds of youth today. I saw 10 young women running through the crowd topless. Have they no shame? This Mr. Presley can't play an instrument, let alone carry a tune. He's ruining the sincerity and genuine nature of American music.
Thank you, Mrs. Elderman. Many parents agree that Elvis isn't the kind of celebrity they want their children looking up to. But despite opposition, Elvis continues to pave the way for rock musicians of the 50s. Back to you at the studio.
That's not all that's been going on this year. Apart from Elvis, Dominating the music industry, the entertainment industry has also flourished. Shannon is here to tell us more.
That's right, Kyle. Television and cinema have become an increasingly available source of entertainment for Americans this year. Here are some of our favorites.
It's no surprise that the popular comedy I Love Lucy won Most Popular Television Show of the Year. With its quirky charm, viewers of all ages can laugh along with Lucy and her outrageous antics. Also this year, instead of rounding up the children and taking them to the cinema came to you. The beloved film Wizard of Oz aired on television this year, giving families a chance to enjoy the professionalism of the cinemas right in their very own living rooms. Judy Garland, who plays Dorothy, stole our hearts on the big screen.
It's clear that this year has been a popping year for entertainment. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Shannon. Sports have also taken a central role in American lives. This year, the World Series marked an historic sports event. The Brooklyn Dodgers went head-to-head with the New York Yankees in these heavily anticipated games. Here are some of the highlights. Yankees pitcher Don Larson established himself as one of the greatest pitchers of our generation when he threw the first and only perfect game in the World Series. With Larson's determination, the Yankees won the pennant in 7 games. Larson was deservedly named the World Series MVP. Dodgers' Jackie Robinson also shined during the tournament, continuing to defy racial segregation. He represents all African Americans in the world of sports as he establishes himself as a force to be reckoned with in the world of sports.
That's right, Kyle. But apart from more entertaining aspects of 1956, this year has also been an important year for government and politics. Here's Kerri Ritter on the scene to tell you more.
Hi, I'm here in our nation's capital to talk about the most anticipated political event of the year, the presidential election. Americans favored our faithful president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, winning his second term with an incredible 57% of the vote.
Take a look at this diagram to see the landslide results. Democrats will have to wait another 4 years to have their shot at the White House as President Eisenhower continues to represent the United States. With the end of the Korean War in many Americans' minds, it's no doubt that President Eisenhower won in a landslide. This election was the first where both candidates used television advertisements to their advantage, hoping to reach all social classes. Eisenhower's actions supporting the Brown versus Board of Education that desegregated schools also made a popular candidate for African American voters.
Americans can rest easy as our president remains in the White House for hopefully another productive 4 years. Back to you.
Coca-Cola! Are you tired? Do you poop out at parties? Are you thirsty? Well, try new Coca-Cola! Whoa!
And it's so tasty too.
Coca-Cola, available everywhere. Coca-Cola!
Well, you've seen it here, folks. As we wrap up the year in review, let's take a look back on our favorite moments of 1956. In the midst of foreign turmoil and prosperity here at home, we look forward to a prosperous year in 1957 and the advancement it has in store. I'm Kyle Shihara.
And I'm Allie Russell.
And I'm Kerri Ritter.
And I'm Shannon Pritchett, signing off for a year in review.